Okay, so let's begin. So these are the things, Josh, you're going to know by the end of today. I expect you to know these. I will ask you these on the test. You will know what a fuse box and a breaker panel is for in your house. You will know what a GFCI outlet is. You will know why some plugs have 2 different size plugs and why some plugs actually have 3 prongs or little pointy things on them. I don't think you have to write. Oh, you do have to write it. Okay, good. Okay, so that's what we're going to look at today. What is that a picture of?
Breaker box.
It's a breaker box, right? You need to put this away here. Put it away. You're like right in front of me. Okay, that is a breaker box. So let's talk about those first. Okay, so you should have learned when we did the certain... Okay, you should have learned during the circuit booklets that houses are wired with outlets in parallel. Okay, why do we do that? Well, or even the light sockets are wired in parallel. We do that because if a light burns out, or if you don't have something plugged in, all the other outlets will still work. So homes are wired in parallel. The circuit works regardless of anything is plugged in or if a light bulb burns out. Okay? That's a key idea. Houses are wired in parallel. Okay? This is what it means by in parallel. If I have time, I'll pull down the circuit board off the shelf up there. Back. In the DC circuit lab, notice what happens when multiple resistors are placed in parallel. What happened when we kept adding light bulbs? Did it really?
Yeah.
It didn't, did it, Brett? They all stayed exactly the same, but one thing did happen. Because you needed electrons going there and there and there, they were blue, going there and there and there and there and there and there and there, all of these ones were moving relatively slow, but to provide all of those, what was happening to the speed of the electrons here? Did you notice? Some of you have put so many lights in that the battery actually caught on fire.
Yes.
Did you do that? Some of you did. I know you always do that.
One light.
Okay? So what happens is, these electrons have to move very fast so that they can provide enough power to all of these different ones. What happens in your home when you plug in and start the microwave and the toaster and the kettle and all these different things? What happens? The breaker blows, is what they say, right? The breaker flips. It turns off all the power. Why does it do that? Because if you didn't do it, what happened in the simulation? Started a fire. Okay, that's why you have a breaker panel. Let's watch a video about it, shall we?
Yeah.
So, as I was saying, every time you add a device, whether it's a light, a microwave, a TV, a fridge, they're all resistors, they all use power, the current goes up in the circuit. Key idea. Okay, the current goes up. The number of electrons goes really, really fast at that outlet, at that battery, at the power source. The current goes up to provide all those electrons to all those devices. And the increasing current causes an increase in heat, which may cause a fire, which generally most people like to avoid in their home. To make safer, electricians install either a fuse box or a breaker panel. This is a breaker panel. You likely have one of those in your basement. This is a fuse box. Some of you may have that in your basement. Does anyone have one of those in their house or maybe in their garage?
Those are the fuses that look like they're like
It's a little screw-in thing, yeah.
Seen one in old abandoned.
Yeah, they generally are in older homes. They're not considered safe anymore. The odd person might have it in an older home. You might see them in garages or, like, say, abandoned buildings.
Stoves have those.
Stoves have those little fuses too. Actually, almost everything has fuses. Your car has fuses.
I know.
A lot of things have fuses, yeah.
Flashlights are fuses.
So when the current gets too high, the fuse of the breaker breaks the circuit before the wiring can heat up. So it is the number one electrical safety feature in your home. You can't build a house without a breaker box.
Why do you put it in the basement? Wait till the basement floods.
I guess it's out of the way. Yeah.
It doesn't look pretty.
Oh, yeah, it's unsightly. It's not nice. Some people might have them in a garage, maybe, I suppose.
I know. I would.
So, it's the number one safe feature in your home. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the difference between the two. As I said, fuse boxes are usually only found in older homes. Breaker panels are now the accepted code. If you build a new home, you must put a breaker box in. You cannot put a fuse box in. You can't even buy a fuse box in, that's a problem. If you renovate, the electrician's going to say you have to put in, you got to put in a breaker panel. Okay, so here's some reasons for them. And basically, I go through this. I'm encouraging people to get them changed in their home. So, and if you're older and you're buying a home, don't buy one with a fuse box. There are several reasons for this. Fuse boxes are not good because they're old, like me. It's likely overloaded. Any house nowadays requires more circuits than old fuse boxes hold. Nowadays, we've got, like back when those homes were built, there might have been one TV in the house, right? Maybe no microwave, no computer, no DVD player. All these things that we now have in 2015 that use power that weren't there before, the fuse box is likely overloaded. Right there. Oh, there's a video there. Let's watch that one.
That's where we're missing this one question.
Yeah.
Did you guys miss it? Okay, sorry, I apologize. I guess we missed this one here. When the current gets too high, the fuse will break the circuit. No, I'm going to move it back, don't worry. That's at the top of the page, right? That's at the top of the page.
The fuse
Is everyone good?
or the breaker breaks.
It's the circuit before the wiring can heat up. So the key idea is that it breaks the circuit. Okay. This lady's going to yell at you about the difference between circuit breakers and fuses.
Hi! Would you like to buy the ShamWow?
ShamWow.
Welcome to GTV. Today I will be showing you the differences between circuit breakers and fuses. Both residential and industrial electronic circuit systems require some form of protection to prevent catastrophic failure, circuit damage, or loss of life due to excessive current brought on by a short circuit, overload, device failure, or other unforeseen elements. The two most common forms of circuit protection are fuses and circuit breakers. Fuses are made up with a filament enclosed in a glass, porcelain, or ceramic case. This filament normally completes the circuit. In the event of an overload or short, the metallic filament melts and opens the circuit. Circuit breakers use a set of contacts to complete the circuit. The switching mechanism has a metallic lever that can be actuated by a solenoid or a bimetallic plate. With magnetic circuit breakers, the short circuit current draws at the solenoid, attracting the metal lever that trips the device. Thermal circuit breakers, often found in residential, use a bimetallic strip that expands when heat is applied. Once enough heat has been generated due to an overload, the unit will trip. Residential and industrial markets may also use thermomagnetic circuit breakers, which is a combination of the two. Fuses tend to be less expensive than circuit breakers and are also considered safer due to their current eruption capacity rating. The overall footprint of the fuse or fuse block will also be somewhat smaller than that of a comparably rated circuit breaker in most cases. One disadvantage of fuses is that they need to be replaced once they are blown. Circuit breakers are resettable and do not need to be replaced after actuation. Although they are more expensive than fuses, circuit breakers reduce maintenance costs and downtime of equipment. They can also serve as a primary disconnect of power to an industrial panel or circuit. Options for remote tripping or auxiliary circuits are also readily available for most types of breakers. A possible disadvantage of circuit breakers is that loss through currents may be higher compared to a fuse. Some views designed to provide faster response times to fault currents than circuit breakers are able to achieve. For assistance in picking out the right fuse and a circuit breaker for your application, contact one of Galco's professionals by the number in the description page. Fuse and circuit breakers, along with thousands of other products and services, are available at galco.com.
I already called that. And I called that number. And they asked me if I know the 4-thing extension. I was like, nah. This is the thing, I called the number on the screen, and it took me to their Galco business. And they asked me if I had a 4-digit extension. I didn't have one.
Oh, that's
So I was like,
okay.
I know you too.
So, I guess that was recording. I didn't mean for that down.
You like you're screaming different.
Yeah?
Give me my cookies.
Okay, so that video and what I've described should give you some idea about the difference between a circuit breaker and a fuse box. So how exactly, you'll put that in the garbage, right?
Yeah.
How exactly does a fuse work? What happens? Right? Yeah, it melts and then the circuit no longer is there and it just stops the power, right? So it's a way of stopping the circuit before the heat gets too high and start firing. It's designed to break, really, a fuse, right? Okay, so why should you have a breaker panel instead of a fuse box? As I said before, houses now, people in their homes have a lot more things than they used to. It requires more power. It'll increase the resale value of your house. You're going to have a tough time selling a home with a fuse box in it. Okay? Some homeowners insurance companies raise your rate or even cancel your policy if you have a fuse box. They really, really, really want you to have a breaker panel. They're really not safe anymore.
Well, how come they were safe back then?
Well, because there wasn't as many power. People didn't have microwaves. People didn't have big power for fridges, big TVs.
to go bike with a bicycle.
Or we're not wearing flip-flops.
They're a known fire hazard. And the reason for this is because nowadays, when you run the microwave and something else and the breaker goes, what do you have to do? You go down the stairs, downstairs, flip the breaker, and then not do what you were doing, right? But when it was fuse boxes, you had to actually unscrew the fuse, put a new one in. If you didn't have one, you had to run down to Home Hardware, get another fuse, put it in. People got tired of doing this. So what they did was that instead of putting, like, say, a 5-amp fuse, they'd put in a 10-amp fuse so that it wouldn't break as easy. And then that started wearing out, so they put in a 20-amp one. What's the problem? It melts when the temperature gets even higher, right? And there's a danger that you can put in too big of a fuse and that you actually start a fire before the fuse will go. Okay, so just general human psychology, they're a pain in the butt.
There's a bunch of ice in there.
Sometimes difficult to tell if the fuse is blown compared to a breaker. A breaker, it's just in the off position, all the rest are on. It's easy to see. Fuses, you have to sort of hunt a little bit. There's no room for new circuits. Generally, breaker panels are expandable. Some people put in bigger breaker panels, like for example, if you put in a hot tub or something like that, the electrician might say, you need a new breaker panel, there's not enough power there, there's not enough circuits.
Just to give you more money.
Yep. When a fuse goes, you need to run to the store and buy a new one. Some people do silly things like put pennies in there. Will a penny work as a fuse? All it does is connect the circuit. Will it ever melt and blow the circuit? No. It's a known fire hazard. Your insurance will not pay the bill if they find a penny in a fuse box. They won't. You'll be out the value of your home. Looking at the face of the fuse panel, you cannot tell what the proper fuse size is. You've got to take the cover off. They're generally a pain in the butt. Changing fuses can occasionally be hazardous. If you stick your finger in there, or your tongue.
What?
Well, it's like anything. Like when you take a light bulb, don't stick your finger in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just shut the light
Actually,
off.
I've been talking about safety about changing light bulbs too.
When it's broken, you put a potato on there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like put a potato right to, yeah. That's a good tip.
What?
Okay. So I'll go back. I just wanted to get it back. I'll go back. if it doesn't crash. You guys know Mike Holmes?
Yeah, Mike Holmes, he babysits.
He babysits.
Yeah, you ever see that commercial with air filter?
Oh
He
yeah.
babysit, yeah, part-time.
Hey, why did it crash on me?
Because it's
Because the fuse are messed up.
You couldn't go a few seconds without being entertained, eh?
no. Alright, so you delete that.
I would turn off the computer, turn it back on.
Yeah, restart. Holmes makes right video.
Oh,
Look at him yawning.
there we go. That's all I got to say about breaker panels. Okay. You should have in your bathroom, if you have power in your bathroom, you should have one of those.
Nope.
You hate those. Why?
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work?
You can't plug anything other than race.
Why don't you just click the button and buy it work? Yeah, it doesn't work.
Mine doesn't work.
Yours
We don't
doesn't
even
work?
have one.
Oh no? Okay, well let me tell you what the code is. So GFCI stands for Ground Fault Circuit Interrupt. Okay? They're used in wet locations such as bathrooms outside. They offer another level of security beyond breaker panels. So breaker panels are for safety, for heat reasons. GFIs will stop the circuit if there's any change, any variance in the current. If the current goes up at all, boom, they instantly trip, they turn it off right away. It's a safety feature. The code says, the Manitoba code says receptacles located within 1.5 meters of the sink must be protected with a ground fault circuit interrupter, GFCI of the Class A type. I have a sink right here in my desk. When I moved into this room, I realized, hey, there's electrical right there. How close is that?
Half a meter.
Less than 1.5 meters, that has to be a GFI.
Is it? That's just
But who's looking, right?
Hey, I don't want to get electrocuted.
Is it a GFI?
Make my hair curl.
It's like an expiry date.
It's up $10.
Okay. You're probably annoyed sometimes that when you go to plug something in, it doesn't fit and you got to turn around, right?
Yeah, the other one thing's bigger.
One prong, one fork is bigger, right? The reason for this, I'm going to tell you. So there's two prongs, one wide, one narrow. There's a
We just
picture.
took our grinder and grind those things off. We put it in.
I missed one?
When they don't fit, in like old outlets, we just take the grinder and grind that cord off.
Right there, Josh.
But it worked. We did that for our lights.
Okay.
Plug with no ground, but with no...
So, oh, not three prong plugs.
Pull the three prong out.
So this is called a polarized plug, okay? These are designed for safety features. It ensures, provided the plug-in is wired correctly, that the live current is connected to the safer part of a fixture. So let's first of all look at a light bulb. Okay? When you screw in a light bulb, I'll pause for a second. When you screw in a light bulb, you might notice that there's everything needs to connect to a circuit that needs to be in and out. When you did the circuits on the computer, the simulation, there was one sort of to the side and there was one at the bottom, right? The same thing is true for real light bulbs. The one connection is the bottom, that's sort of a little button on the bottom that you can see right there. And the other one is actually the screws, okay? And electricians talk about the hot terminal and the neutral terminal. The hot terminal means that's where the current's coming. The neutral one is where the current goes back to the outlet, okay? So the hot one on a light socket is actually right at the bottom. Why do they put it right at the bottom and not on the side? Well, when you're screwed in the light bulb, if you happen to be touching the metal part, like if you reach way down and touch that metal part, you're going to be shocked, maybe electrocuted, right? If you've got a polarized plug, that means that you plug it in, that means that the bottom is the hot one. How hard is it to touch the bottom of that little socket where the light goes in? Well, you'd have to purposely do it, right? You couldn't accidentally do it, right? You'd have to put your finger all in. So that's why generally those polarized ones are on lights, anything where there's a connection, maybe even a metal case, kind of thing. Okay, so there's the light bulb that you saw before. The polarized plug ensures that the threads are not electrified. This is good when you're replacing bulbs. So it's a safety feature when you're replacing the plugs. So you shouldn't grind them off. it's a safety
How
feature.
would you supposed to read that sentence in this?
Tiny. Really tiny. Do not grind them off.
Why?
I mean, I've explained why. It's to make sure the power gets to where it's supposed to go. Okay. Still?
But the reason why is because there's old plugs and there's new plugs.
Yeah.
So when you got
Replace
an
the
old
plug.
yeah, but say it's on lights, on Christmas lights,
Yeah.
that's what we have outside. So can it work?
Okay, what about 3-prong plugs? Sometimes they're annoying too, right? If you've got an old outlet,
We just pull the prong off.
yeah, I remember my dad doing that, taking the hacksaw out.
Used to use pliers.
Yeah. Bad idea, especially if it happens to be something like that you might touch, like if it's an electric guitar or something like that, or a piano or anything like that you're going to be actually touching while you're using. Bad idea because you haven't grounded it properly.
Good thing I don't own a piano or not.
Generally found on appliances with metal cases like toaster ovens, some coffee makers, computers, anything that's got a metal case should have a 3-prong plug. These allow the breaker to do its job if somehow the case becomes electrified. I'm going to click on this and buffer it, and then I'm going to leave it there. Don't get left behind.
Some extension cords have it.
Most extension cords will have it, yes. When I say grounded, I don't mean you came home too late and now you're grounded. I don't mean that. What does that mean by grounded? Touch the ground. The electrons, the electricity has some way to get to ground. Right? If it's not grounded, then it will go through your body to get to ground. Yeah, well, you'll eventually touch the ground.
So why does a power plug have 2 prongs instead of 3? To answer this question, we have to start by looking at the power outlet, which it connects to. The power outlet is one of the most important yet overlooked things in your home.
Just watch.
Without it, you can charge your smartphone, watch movies, or make popcorn.
Andrew,
So
up
the
here.
unit power outlet, the terminal located in the upper right corner, is called the live terminal. The slightly bigger terminal in the upper left corner is called the neutral terminal. The bottom one is called the ground terminal. Electricity flows out of the live terminal, powers your device, goes back into the neutral terminal. Hence,
If you don't have this kind, if you plug it in backwards because you ground off the sides, then instead of the electricity going that way, which way is electricity going to go? It's going to go this way. Generally not a problem, but if you touch something that's supposed to be neutral and it's hot, it's got electricity, guess what?
the neutral terminal, hence completing the circuit. The purpose of the ground terminal is primarily safety. You'll probably notice that usually devices with metal cases, for example, a toaster, will have a 3-prong plug. In the toaster, if the wire carrying electricity inside the box accidentally becomes loose and touches the metal case, the case becomes electrically hot. What that means is that if you touch the metal case, you could get an electric shock. So a 3rd prong will prevent this from happening. In appliances like a toaster, the metal case is internally connected to a 3rd prong, which is connected to the ground terminal when we plug it into the power outlet. What this does is create a safety feature so that whenever a wire becomes loose inside the case and touches the case, the breaker box will automatically detect this, and as a result, the breaker, which is connected to the power outlet, will turn off. And in essence, this cuts power and shuts down the device. This ultimately will prevent an electric shock.
Don't cut off the little thingy. I gotta yell at my dad for that.
It just works.
Putting me, a young child, in an unsafe position when I was younger.
Why go buy another?
A $3 outlet.
Yeah, and replace
Let me
it.
think.
And go-
$3 outlet, killing your child.
You're not gonna
die. I'm gonna die from touching your
shawl.
You like the other way better?
I saw
Okay.
when I was a little kid. Stuck my tongue.
So, let's go back to the start.
my finger in there, dude. Shocked myself cleaning up my basement with
Like
water.
all dusty to cross.
Did I cover those 4 things?
I am.
Yuri, did I cover those 4 things? Rock, leave 'em alone. Did I cover those 4 things?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. This is not colored paper. It does not go in your portfolio. I'll give you the remainder of this time. If you need to complete a circuit booklet, please do that. If you need to do anything else, including the history one, now is your time.
Yeah, I have clarification.
Okay.
Water free.
Yeah, touch it.
Mark.